Township North Huntington Board of Commissioners regular meeting for Wednesday, October 21st, 2020 at 7:11. Roll call, Manager Silka.
Commissioner Stump.
Here.
Commissioner Atwood.
Here.
Commissioner Blasco.
Here.
Commissioner Zona.
Here.
Commissioner Bevan.
Here.
Commissioner Goss.
Here.
Commissioner Higas.
Here. Can everyone please stand and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If any residents would like to speak tonight, could you please sign the book at the podium? Thank you. We have two residents. Rick, if you want to come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Rick Keenan, 700 Laker Road. I'm a 42-year resident of North Huntington, 14 years in Ardera, 28 years on Laker Road. Sure you all heard of Laker Road here lately. In both addresses, I had neighbors that had chickens. Chickens, by their nature, scratch for food, and also mixed with food is excrement from the chicken, which causes quite a bit of attraction for rodents, mice, rats, possums, raccoons, and snakes. I know in this issue, it has been said that there were no roosters because of noise. There's an old saying, and think about it, a ruckus in the hen house. I can personally tell you that happens when you get a predator or a black snake in the hen house. And if you think a rooster crowing is bad, you ought to hear that. I repeat, hen house. Didn't say anything about roosters. You had a farmer, it was a former commissioner here, that even said this chicken deal is bad news. Big thing that I have against it.
Oh,
You're on now.
okay. The big thing that I have against it is the cost to the taxpayers, especially those that aren't involved. To do it properly, you're going to have to hire a chicken officer to patrol it. You're going to have to contract a vet when there's a problem. You're going to have to train, and due to the size of the township, provide him a vehicle with maintenance and fuel. And from what I've seen, the number of permits at $50 or $60, whichever they were, is not going to cover any of that. It's going to be a burden on the taxpayers that are not involved in it. Now, they had a thing here last month about the making up the laws and so on, and the regulation for this. There was nothing in it about levying fines, and there was a lot left out of the law. I have seen the situation, and these chicken coops are going to have heat in extreme cold, and they're going to have fans in extreme heat. There's nothing in there about that, and real quick, like, you're going to get some humanitarian problems with that. But the worst thing that I saw in this meeting last month was the attitude of some of these commissioners trying to push this through with no guidelines. That is neither a democracy or a republic, kind of like a Marxist type of thing. And I think that before any of it goes through, it should be find out what the cost is going to be to the taxpayers. And while we're on the thing of cost, how about they say they're going to rewrite the ordinances? Why write new ones if you don't enforce the old ones? And for better use of a term, I'm referring to the cat house on Legger Road. 2 doors from my house. It has been a nuisance for over 5 years, as confirmed by an ex-police chief and an ex-commissioner here. Now, I think before anybody votes on this or even discuss anything about it, you should all take a ride down there. And while you're there, get the full benefit. Get downwind with your windows down. The place stinks, and there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I think that there's some very poor management in both the zoning, this matter with the chickens, and as I said, why rewrite a rule book if you're not going to follow it anyway? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next resident, if you want to come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Andy Durkota, or Alexandria Durkota is my official name. I live at 520 King Fred Drive in North Huntington. I'm here to talk about the noise ordinance. I read the draft, the revised draft. I just want to thank Chief Rizzo and all of you for putting this together because I think it's phenomenal, especially compared to what we had previously. I just had one question on Section 7, Number 4. It talks about 12 consecutive something without a violation or charge or violation or by change in tenants. It's the very last line in Number 4, and is it weeks? Is it months? So that was just one question I had. And then I'm a technical writer. I'm not trying to be, try to throw anyone under the bus or or anything or call anyone out. But in Number 3, the in, if the nuisance property, it should be is. And then in Number 4, a property will be released from instead of form. So that was it. So that's all I have. But thank you. I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart for putting this together because it seems like it's something that is enforceable. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let me answer hers. real
You
quick.
go, yeah.
Ma'am, it's 12 months. Yeah, that was an omission.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Response to citizens put, I believe both these topics are on the agenda for tonight if we want to address them at that time.
If I may speak about what Rick brought up in regards to the cat house. Of course, we all met Mr. David Baylog last week, Thursday. He came in and advocated that something be done with it. And I promised him Thursday evening, Rick, that I'd be over there Friday morning. And as soon as I completed my mission with the United States Army, I headed over there and met Mr. Baylog, and we walked the property. And I'll tell you, Rick, wow, you ain't kidding. Stinky. Just
How about all the garbage?
oh, the garbage is unbelievable. Out the back, it's deplorable. I looked through the windows and the urine smell is so bad. And then, after it was all said and done, I get in my car and I'm driving away. And it was about 45 minutes later, and I'm like, man, what is on my legs? What is on my legs? I look down, man. I had fleas that I brought into the car, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me, And so it's really, really bad. I mean, bad, really bad, and so much so that the urine you could see where it seeped into the wood on the floor, and that goes into the rafters and the subflooring. And I got to be honest with you, I'm calling for demolition of the place. I really, really am. It's just, nobody should have to live near that. Not only is it the smell, but I'm also worried about disease. You guys all know, not to play history fact, but the Black Plague was responsible for fleas. It was the fleas that were riding on the backs of the rats that affected the people, and then look what it did to Europe. I'm not saying that's going to happen because we all don't live in close proximity, but like Rick said, those fleas carry disease. Something needs to be done with that property ASAP. Going back with what Rick said, 5 years, right? 5 years. That's long enough. Thank you.
I say one thing, the chimney fell in on that house last fall. And according to the paper, they said it's been vacant for 3 years. The fellow was living in it up until the weather broke this year. He must have clothespin on his nose.
All right. Anything else for response to citizen input? I believe staff is looking at that property, and we'll have some corrective action here in the near future. Approval of meetings minutes for the special meeting 9/10/2020.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. For the regular meeting 9/16/2020.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Payment of bills.
Make a motion to pay vouchers 8,474 through motion or voucher 8,540.
I'll second that.
Discussion. All those in favor by stating aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Staff reports, Public Works report. Director Albert, anything to add to your report tonight, sir? Nothing more to add. Any questions for Public Works?
Rich, roads are looking great. Yeah, thank you, man. So nice to ride on smooth stuff, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Park Recreations report. Director Miller, anything to add to your report tonight, sir? Nothing to add tonight. All right. Any questions for Park Recreation? All right. Thank you, Director Miller. Police report. Chief Rizzo, anything to add to your report tonight? Any questions for the chief tonight?
Chief, I just wanted to ask, with the special needs program through dispatch, have you continued to get submissions through that, or what's the best way for residents to alert the department? Is that phone calls in, or is there something online?
Call in.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just referring right to the center and then taking stuff, and I've seen people dropping stuff off, and then actually one lady dropping off and picking one up actually. I would say call dispatch, and then they'll tell them how to deal with it. I mean, we'll even deliver, people can't get there.
Okay.
It won't be an issue.
All right. Thank you.
Yep,
All right. Thanks, Chief.
you're welcome.
Any questions for emergency management report? All right. Engineering report, Engineer Christner, anything tonight, sir? Nothing else to add. All right, thank you.
I'd
Plan-
like to say something,
Yeah.
if I may. Paul, real nice job over there with that Westmoreland Transit, that bus terminal by Sheets, right across from Stewartsville. I mean, beautiful job on laying that out, man, and working with those guys and girls. And man, does that really look nice? What, really beautiful beautification you did over there in overseeing all that. So thank you. Job well done. Dan Miller, also, sorry, should have queued in earlier. Great job so far with the parks, man. Thank you for all you guys do. Seriously, Rich, back at you. Ryan, I know you're upcoming. Thank you, fellas, really. Thank you.
All right. Plan and zoning report, Director Fonzie. Any questions for the fire officials report this month? All right, subdivision and land development.
There are two items set for the board's approval tonight. The first is SP 7 2020, the Bella Construction Site Plan, requesting the board to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
And lastly, the conditional use one, 2020, Subdivision 10, 2020, SP 7, 2020, the Huntington Marketplace Multi-Tenant Buildings Phases 2 and 3, requesting action to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
That's all I have.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Solicitor's report. Solicitor Alexander.
Thank you. There is one action item on the solicitor's report this month. It's action to adopt proposed ordinance number 6 of 2020 for the Township of North Huntington, County of Westmoreland, accepting the dedication to public use of a certain road known as Kingsbury Lane in the Kingsbury Plan.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by, any discussion? All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
That concludes the solicitor's report.
Thank you. Township Manager's report, Manager Solka.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. First is action to approve the September check register.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
The September 2020 budget report is provided for your review. My next item is action to approve the 2019 audit as presented by Mark Turnley, CPA.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved 7-0.
Next is action to approve the 2021-2022 road program as presented by the senior project engineer.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Just one thing to discuss on this one. People maybe have missed our last meetings. We're going to do a road paving program. It's a little bit different this year to hopefully try to save money that where before in the past we try to pave a little bit of roads on every ward throughout the community. This year, instead of trying to do that, we're trying to save on mobilization fees. So we're trying to do certain communities or wards within the community. So if you don't see roads begin paved in your ward, there's a reason why. So just friendly reminder, I'm trying to save some money for the township by doing it this way. A motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Next is action to approve the maintenance and performance bond release for Dartmoor Estates Phase 2 as recommended by the township engineer.
Motion to approve.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Next is action to approve the final bond release for Huntington Marketplace Multi-Tenant Building as recommended by the township engineer.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved 7-0.
The next is action to authorize the publication for adoption of an ordinance regulating noise within North Huntington Township.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Are we going to acknowledge those edits?
Yes, so the final copy will be edited.
Okay.
Any other board discussion? All those in favor by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved 7-0.
Action to authorize for publication for adoption of the model stormwater ordinance.
Second.
Discussion. Just want to say thanks, Paul, for all the hard work. I know that's not an easy document that you prepared and put together, so I appreciate your work. Any other discussion? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Next is action to authorize the drafting of an ordinance amending the North Huntington Township zoning ordinance to designate the keeping of backyard chickens in residential districts as a conditional use.
This is just to draft the ordinance. Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion passes 6-1.
Next is action to approve a contract extension between North Huntington Township and the North Huntington Township Police Department for a 4-year period, 2021 to 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Action to approve a resolution authorizing the township manager to submit a $30,000 Westmoreland Cares municipal grant application.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved 7-0.
Next is action to approve a resolution stating opposition to Governor Wolf's efforts to legalize recreational marijuana.
Motion to approve.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes 6-1.
Next is action to award the 2020-2021 Public Works Material Contract 20-04 for bituminous surfacing material 9.5 millimeter and 225 millimeter to Hanson Aggregates BMC Incorporated, 2200 Springfield Pike, Connellsville, Pennsylvania.
Motion to approve.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved 7-0.
Action to award the 2020-2021 Public Works Material Contract 20-04 for bituminous surfacing material cold patch to Highway LLC, 290 North Pike Road, Saw River, Pennsylvania.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Next is action to award the 2020-2021 Public Works Material Contract 20-05 for Class A concrete to JLB Holding Incorporated, 1400 Buchanan Drive, North Huntington, Pennsylvania.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Action to award the 2020-2021 Public Works Material Contract 20-06 for drainage pipe to Pipelines Incorporated, P.O. Box 2027, St. Clair Avenue, East Liverpool, Ohio.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Action to award the 2020-2021 Public Works Material Contract 20-07 for stone to Hanson Aggregates, BMC, Springfield Pike, Connellsville, Pennsylvania.
Motion to approve.
Discussion. All those in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Next is action to award the 2020-2021 Public Works Material Contract 20-07 for anti-skid to Ligonier Stone and Lime Company, doing business as Dairy Stone and Lime Company, 117 Marcia Street, Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
Motion to approve.
Discussion. All those in favor by stating an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved 7-0.
The next is action to award the 2021 Public Works Material Contract 20-08 for storm inlets and grates to Pleasant Unity Supply, P.O. Box 29, Pleasant Unity, Pennsylvania.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by stating an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved 7-0.
That is all I have today.
All right, thank you, Manager Silka. Any further board comments?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we appoint Robert DiPolito to the Township Emergency Management Coordinator position.
All right, if you want to make that in a form to add that to the agenda, and then we can
Yes,
take public
I'd
input.
like to make a motion to add that to the agenda, yes.
I'll second that.
Discussion. All those in favor to adding it to the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
That was, one no from Fran. Motion passes 6-1. Now that's on the agenda, we'll take any public input at this time if anyone's interested in speaking on the matter. Not seeing any. Ron, you can make your motion now if you're interested.
Yeah, I'd like to make the motion that we appoint Robert DiPolito as the township's emergency management coordinator.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
I would like to speak on their citizens' input that I missed the opportunity on this issue. I just have.
Yeah, come up.
Sorry.
I didn't see anyone that wanted to speak, so.
Richard Gray, 12229 Adams Drive. I just wondered how many applicants you had.
Yeah, we had, I believe, maybe was it 5 applicants?
Yes.
3 of them were from out of state and 2 of them were local residents. So I would say 2 that were actually probably that realistically wanted to apply for the position. I think the 3 that were from out of state probably misunderstood and thought it was a paid position.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we had a motion pass 7-0. Any other further board comments tonight? No announcements?
Just let me make one
okay,
announcement. The trick or treat is scheduled for 6 to 8 p.m. Saturday, October 31st.
Yeah. And that's the last announcement?
Yes, sir.
All right, just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 7-0, meeting adjourned.